let's get right into it as the Chiefs beat the Chargers 19-17 on Sunday Night Football. As Mike Tirico put it on the broadcast, it was the doink for the division as the Chiefs, like third kicker from this year, ends up banking in the game-winning field goal to give the Chiefs the win and also the division crown. If they had lost, the Chargers still would have had a shot, but yet the Chiefs, everything seems to bounce their way. And so rather than focusing on the game in itself, which was a good one, it was a good back and forth game in an AFC West battle. I just wanted to ask you, first and foremost, is this sustainable for the Chiefs? Because the Chiefs are great. They have like a 11-1 record, something like that, really good. And
12-1 now.
Or 12-1 now. Thank you.
Now,
Yeah, I had just right as the words came out of my mouth, I was thinking to myself, wait, no, this is week 14. So yeah, 12-1. Thank you for correcting me. And so they've gotten this far with only one loss, in it being on the road in Buffalo against the Bills. But is this sustainable for the Chiefs? Because I don't mean to keep bringing up the Eagles of last year every week, like to be petty or anything, but just to use it for contrast. Like they started 10-1, but during those first 11 games, they were sneaking by, and then they kind of crumbled towards the end of the season. I don't know if that necessarily would be the case for the Chiefs, as we see they were still able to get this close win against a good Chargers team. But I don't know if I think this is personally sustainable for them to be doing this every week going into the playoffs. But having Patrick Mahomes gives them the best chance to do so. So what did you think of this Sunday Night Football game and the Chiefs' long-term sustainability if they keep squeaking by in this manner?
I'm not worried about it. I think that you mentioned the Eagles last year, how we started off 10-1 and we plummeted and ended up not even winning our division, and then first round flopping in the playoffs. The only difference is the fact they have Mahomes and Andy Reid compared to Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. As much as I do love Hurts, even when he doesn't do what I would like him to do every week, I got a lot of faith in that guy because he is a guy that I've seen him do a lot of amazing things, and I know what his potential is. When it comes to Patrick Mahomes, there's undeniable just evidence that doesn't matter the situation, they're going to do what they've always done. And this is a weird season. This is a season where they've been heavily favored or been helped out a lot by the refs. But even take away the refs, guys, like let's not pretend like the Chiefs didn't have potential to have this record anyways. Whether they didn't lose Hollywood Brown, didn't lose Rashee Rice, didn't lose Pacheco for quite a few weeks, will we sit there and say that we'd be surprised if these Chiefs were 11 or 12-1 without the refs' help and they're playing really well? I mean, everybody's talking about how the Chiefs, they're just getting by, but it's like at the end of the day, a win's a win, and that matters the most. A lot of teams play good teams very, very hard, and we just saw that with Philadelphia going against the Panthers. We had plenty of opportunities to put that game away. We didn't. And I think that we got to take our hats off to Carolina and also Bryce Young for literally like outplaying Jalen Hurts. When it comes to the Chiefs, I think that they're more dangerous than ever, actually. They got their one loss. So guess what? They got that out of the bag. It's done. It's out of the way because that takes on a lot of pressure when it comes to being an undefeated team. It's like, when does that one loss come if it does come? Are we going to be the whatever Miami Dolphins from the 70s or whatever? Are we gonna do it and win every game and not lose? That takes on a lot of just unnecessary, it puts on a lot of unnecessary weight on your team and everything. That's your whole identity until you lose. So they got the loss out of the bag and they ended up winning three straight, and it was against the Panthers. Obviously, the Panthers squeaked by, the Raiders squeaked by, and the Chargers squeaked by. At the end of the day, we got to remember the Chiefs still, just got Pacheco back not too long ago. Okay, they still don't have Rashee Rice, and they still don't have. They got DeAndre Hopkins, but you know what? Before they got DeAndre Hopkins, people were all out on DeAndre Hopkins. People were saying stuff like he needs to retire, he's done, he's washed. So we can't just look at the name DeAndre Hopkins and go, "Oh, well, they got DeAndre Hopkins." Well, he's not DeAndre Hopkins from 6 years ago, or is he? We don't really know. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs are winning. Even though that they're facing extreme adversities. If you were to take any other team, take San Fran, for instance, look what happened when you lost your aces, right? Immediate turnaround. You guys lost CMC for the entire season for the most part. Okay?
Pretty much.
Okay? went from being in the Super Bowl to probably not going to make the playoffs. We don't even know yet. Okay, just
Probably not.
to the playoffs. All right, you lose Brandon Ayuk early in the season, right? Look at the Chiefs.
Yep.
Rice. Can we say that they're both very equivalent? So that just comes to show that the Chiefs are very well coached. Patrick Mahomes is that guy, and even though yes, the refs do help them quite a bit, they still are winning games, and that's all that matters. And I said earlier that they're more dangerous than ever because what's going to happen when they have a complete game? Are they going to go all the way through the rest of the season, the playoffs, without playing a dominant, complete game? I don't think so. Every team has their day. Even the Browns has had their day. The Jacksonville Jaguars has had their day. The Panthers have had their day. You think the Chiefs are going to have their day one day? And it hasn't happened yet? I think that we should watch out for the Chiefs, personally. I think that the Chiefs, come playoff time, given no more injuries, they're going to figure some things out. And the thing about the Chiefs, the big asterisk is Andy Reid. Is he doesn't play one way all through it. That guy will play a certain way throughout the rest of the season, and all of a sudden switch things up right in the playoffs. And all of a sudden, your scouting report doesn't even matter. Now you got guys like Juju Smith-Schuster going off for 100-plus yards, 2 touchdowns out of nowhere. No, you can't scout that. You know what I mean? Or you got, maybe who's their third-string running back now since Kareem Hunt got signed? What's his name? White guy.
The white dude? Yeah. Carson Steele.
Thank you, Carson Steele. Can we not foresee a Carson Steele 2-touchdown, 80-yard game for no reason out of nowhere? You see what I'm saying? So the Chiefs, we still don't know what the true identity is, but I guarantee you this, it's not going to be worse than what we're seeing. And if it's not going to be worse than what we're seeing, we're looking at a team that is sitting at 12-1 right now. I would definitely fear the Chiefs in the playoffs or any game moving forward, 100%.
Yeah, in the playoffs, I'm always afraid of the Chiefs simply because of Patrick Mahomes. Even thinking back to last year when the Chiefs were struggling and everyone was saying, oh, the Chiefs dynasty is over, blah, 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 blah. They have no chance to repeat. Then they obviously did. But even last year, I was afraid of the Chiefs because they had Patrick Mahomes. And to get back to what you were saying about a win is a win, I understand that. But also, 2 of the 3 teams that you mentioned in those last 3 games, like it's a little suspect. Yes, Carolina is showing that they have improved a lot, as we saw against the Chiefs, as we saw this week against your Eagles. But to squeak by Carolina and Los Angeles, that's a win that if you win by half a point, doesn't matter, you win. But those other 2 games, I expected them to win by more. But ultimately, like you said, a win is a win. And when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins, that's the Will Levis effect. Everyone said that DeAndre Hopkins was washed, and it's because of the man that puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Will Levis has done that to Calvin Ridley, and he did it to DeAndre Hopkins. And so now, as much as I hate the Chiefs, just given the fact that they've beaten my team in the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 5 years, I'm happy for DeAndre Hopkins finding a new home and getting this last little bit of a swan song of his career. Who knows how long he'll be with the Chiefs, 2 to 3 years. But the thing about the Chiefs this year is that it's their defense, just like the Eagles. It's their defense that's getting it done versus knowing them to be an offensive-led team. And so I'm always going to be afraid of the Chiefs when the playoffs come. But as far as the regular season goes, yes, they're 12-1. But squeaking by those lowly teams, I just expect them to do better. But ultimately, I'm a fan of a 6-7 team, and the Chiefs are 12-1 because I think that was a great parallel that you gave just between the injuries that the Chiefs have dealt with and the injuries that the 49ers have dealt with. Yes, we see a third-string guy like Isaac Guerrero, a rookie running back, coming in and making a huge impact in the stat sheet yesterday for the 49ers, but that was against the Bears. Carson Steele, he would be just as likely of making a big impact as Kareem Hunt, as Isaiah Pacheco. And so I guess I'm kind of arguing against myself here. I think it's just the hater in my heart that's just trying to point something out with the Chiefs. Like, oh, they're squeaking by. But, ultimately, they're still as dangerous as ever. And so the thing about this game that was really interesting is that the Chiefs, they got out to a 13-0 lead at halftime, and then the Chargers stormed back in that third quarter to take the lead 14-13 and trade field goals at the end. And I saw something on Twitter where it was like the Chiefs have to have like bodies buried under that field because how are they just having so much good luck aside from the refs helping them out? How are they having so much good luck, especially with a doink like that? I mean, Chicago Bears fans are just saying, why not us? But another great win for the Chiefs.
And I'll also mention this too, like in reference to the game, outside of just the Chiefs just being who they are. But I mean, I think that if like my roommate, he's a Chargers fan, and he's been screaming since the beginning of time, like all season long. This is a rebuild. Yes, we're playing well, but this is a rebuild. This is a rebuild. This is a rebuild. And you look at the Chiefs or the Chargers offense. They didn't have J.K. Dobbins this game, so you got Gus Edwards, and God, who knows who the other running back is. You got Will Dissly, who also got banged up in this game a little bit too. You got Quentin Johnson and Joshua Palmer, who Palmer didn't have a bad game, but all in all, it's like the Chiefs went toe to toe with the Chargers. If the Chargers had like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams instead of who they got right now, and also they were without Lad McConkey too.
Mm-hmm.
They win this game big time. The Chargers are better than the Chiefs right now. They just are lacking in the depth of the roster. They don't have the roster. That's it. But that's the reason why the game was as close as it was, because the Chargers actually do have a really good defense, and their offense, if they had more weapons, they can make more things happen. So it's a division game. Division games are always close. It's just the way that it is. It doesn't matter who your team is. We've seen Cleveland beat Baltimore, and we've seen Cleveland. Also, I can't remember who else they beat too. That was like weird. They took us to like a 3-point game, 3-4-point game. So like that just happens. And at this point of the season, you got to understand that like, yeah, the Chiefs are squeaking by, but they just squeaked by this week against a really good team that's also probably gonna make the playoffs. The Chargers, if they keep doing what they're doing, they're gonna be the 7th seed. 100%.
Yeah,
because there's no other strong teams in the AFC right now outside of the division winners, and even the Ravens are kind of pissing away right now. So we'll find out at the very end.
I agree, and I totally understand the skepticism and the pessimism from your roommate to feel that way about the Chargers, that they're in a rebuilding year. But man, if I was him, I'd be so elated that I got Jim Harbaugh as the head coach now, because he is just a bona fide winner, and he changed the culture like instantly. And the craziest part about that is, as we're about to get to the next team that we're going to talk about in depth, and I'm not talking about the 49ers here, but I'm talking about the 49ers absolutely dismantling the Bears. And the thing about the Bears that's relevant to this discussion is, according to some reports that just came out, Jim Harbaugh wanted to coach the Bears, and the Bears didn't necessarily jump all over that opportunity. Matt Eberflus is kept around. Matt Eberflus then gets fired after Thanksgiving, and it's a head scratcher, and the Chargers and their fans should be very thankful for getting Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Now joining us, none other than Mr. Jaevon Toddy. Toddy, do you have anything you would like to add about the Chiefs and Chargers game?
I had money on this game. Surprise, surprise.
Pain.
Chargers money line was the play.
Oh.
A lot of people. My friend who's my boy Juan, he watches the show. He's a guy that's
a little festive.
He said I cursed the Chargers for picking them in the pick'ems. He's like, don't pick the Chargers. You're cursed. Why would you do? I was like, how am I cursed? Because 2 out of the 3 times I picked them, they won. The only time that they lost, I forget which game that was. No, because they won against the Bengals and they won against.
It was probably the other Chiefs game in LA, right?
No, because that game I took the spread in that game. That game was 7.5. I vividly remember that game. It's funny how gamblers remember games.
Yeah,
no, exactly. I remember that game. But I thought Herbert missed a bunch of throws. Not a bunch, but he missed some really key throws in this game. He was under pressure, I thought, a lot in this game. Josh Palmer was wide ass open. Like,
that deep shot,
wide ass open on that deep shot, and he kind of had to step up into the throw, which was kind of crazy. It didn't even.
It was a clean pocket too.
Yeah, it didn't look like he needed to step up into the throw. Like he kind of could have just flicked it. That's how talented Justin Herbert actually is, and a lot of people kind of forget. He doesn't really have to put on his cape and play Superman the entire time. I mean, the Chiefs, Mahomes was under pressure the entire time in this game. He was, under duress a lot. I thought DeAndre Hopkins played really well in this game. He was really their only target that was making things happen besides Travis Kelce, who was there when you need him. That's kind of usually when Mahomes and Kelce hook up, is late in games when you need it, the game being on the line. And when the Chargers didn't score in the red zone on their final possession, I just knew. And I saw a tweet. John Ewing tweeted, "Oh, Chiefs are minus 120. Minus 120, and they're down with less than a minute left on that final drive. And it was like they're still favored down with a minute left. That's how crazy it is when you're, Patrick Mahomes, and Vegas just knew. I'm like, hey, Mahomes is going to drive down in any which way possible. I think they did get a couple of calls on that last drive, kind of, go their way. And it's kind of just what sums up what the Chiefs season has been when the kick literally doinks in. Like, usually when the kick doinks, it usually goes like away from, like, I don't know how the trajectory or whatever, the Chiefs black magic was on full display last night, and it's been on display the entire season. Really, how many one-score games have they won? I think they're undefeated in all their one-score games. The game that they lost, they got the shit kicked out of them. But I mean, pretty much all their other games have been one-score games for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like at least probably 10 of 12 of their wins have been in one-score games, or at least single digits. And so that kind of just is a testament to the Chiefs and their success. I can only think of, off the top of my head, one other doink that went in, and it was another game earlier this season. But other than that, and I can't even tell you exactly which game it was. If I bet on it like Toddy, then I probably could tell you the exact moment. But I vaguely recall that there was one other doink that actually went in this year. But other than that, I can't really remember too many that were very recent. And so I guess it's the Chiefs' black magic, as you said. And Cass, did you want to? It looked like you wanted to say something real quick.
Just to kind of, Toddy said he lost some money on this game. God, I got to go ahead and brag for a second, but also smack myself in the face.
Oh,
so obviously we know W's mean win and L's mean losses.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
This is my weekly picks.
Bringing a little bit closer to the camera. My 20/20 vision is letting me down. Is that all W's? Holy moly! Damn.
Now this is why I'm going to smack myself. So I called every game correct this week.
And you did it
every week. I put $1 on my weekly predictions just in case. It always flips to about $800 if you call them correct, which is rare. 16 games in a week. Regular season, or no bye weeks. Maybe sometimes 14 games. This was a 13 game week. And I woke up late and I didn't put my parlay in. Yep. That's an easy at least $800. I'm talking the lowest I've ever seen it be is $800. Sometimes it's like $1,100-$1,200 depending. But I called every game correct, and I sat there and I tweeted. Actually, I go, holy shit! Afternoon games. I'm like, damn, I'm 100% so far. I saw the way the afternoon games were panning out. I'm like, are you fucking me? I'm about to call every afternoon game too. And then there was a night game, and I called that. I'm like, the Bengals are gonna win tomorrow, and I'm gonna hit every fucking game this week for my predictions. And I didn't put a single buck on it. Because at the end of the season, you think about it, we have 17 games in the season, right? 18 weeks. Mm-hmm. At the end of the season, put $1 on a 13, 14, sometimes 16-leg parlay. I'm out $18 at the end of the year. That's not even non-existent. I don't notice that. And I forgot. And you know what's even crazier, which I want to smack myself? It's the second time since I've been doing my weekly prediction videos, 4 years, that I've called 1 week 100% correct. And the first time I did it, same thing. I did not bet.
Oh,
I bet.
Do we gotta start setting reminders, or do I call Kaz in the morning just to make sure?
No, here's the thing, Toddy. Here's the thing, Toddy. I've only not bet twice. Both times were both the times that I called every game. I swear to God, I bet $1 every week.
It the night before, because it's just like.
What are the odds of me? What are the odds of me hitting the game? It's gonna be like nothing.
Exactly.
I call every game correct.
Exactly.
It sucks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, I called every game this week, and you guys obviously have been keeping up with the, posting our picks. You can see every game correct.
Hey, if you follow Kaz's picks, you would have been already. Kaz put $1. There's some degenerates out there who's gonna put 100.
Someone on my TikTok, I don't know if someone on my TikTok left a comment saying like, man, he said something about to 10 stacks, something like that. I'm like, did you actually use my picks and make 10 stacks, or he said you won 10 stacks just in general? He didn't respond to the comment. I'm like, I swear to God, if you want 10 stacks off of my picks, I gotta get like about.
You out here feeding the whole.
Like 250, bro. Man, I
Cavs
need
out
that
here
too.
ending the world hungry. You don't even know it.
So now I got to somehow, some way in the next few weeks call every game. We'll see what happens again.
Man, that's absolute pain. That reminds me of last week when I'm in a pick'em league. Aside from our stats over politics picks each week, I'm in a pick'em, and the difference in the pick'em versus our pick'em is that with ours, it's just straight up based on the outcome of the game. In my pick'em league, it's based on against the spread. And last week I went 13-1 over 14 games. The only one I got wrong is I picked the Texans with the points or
They
Texans
did not
against the
cover
points,
last week. Yeah,
and
they
they
did,
did not even come close to covering against the Jaguars. And
which was
so yeah, I'm not much of a better anymore, but if I actually hit on all 14, I would have been feeling the exact same way as you, Kaz. I'm just thankful that I had one wrong because that was definitely my thought process with every parlay that I ever had. Is I didn't want to just get one pick wrong. I wanted to get two, and like just so it wasn't just one pick away. And like that's how I was feeling with my picks, where I was like, okay, at least I wasn't 14-0 and didn't bet it. And Kaz, that's just nothing but pain. I'm so
Oh, it
sorry
hurts.
for you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
won't do it again for a long time.
Yeah, that's just absolute pain. Jaevon would sum it up with two words. That is a cold world right there.
cold world.
It's a very cold world.